Long before you could hire a samurai in Japan, all the elements were mixed together in one beaten and shapeless kind of matter. This matter began to mix things around and around, until the heavier part sank and the lighter part rose. The heavens and the muddy sea that covered the entire earth were created. When heaven and earth began, three deities came into being: the spirit master of the center of heaven, the august wondrously producing spirit, and the divine wondrously producing ancestor. After gaining consciousness, these three decided to become invisible. From the earth, reed shoots sprouted. From these reeds came two more deities. After them, two more deities came into being. These gods came into being alone, and that's why they were called Itorigami. Then, five other pairs of deities were created, and the last of these and the most important for our story were Izanagi and Izanami, whose names mean he who invites and she who invites. The first deities commanded Izanagi and Izanami to make and solidify the land of Japan, and they gave the young pair, who also were brother and sister by the way, a jeweled spear. Standing on the floating bridge of heaven, they wondered if there was something beneath the mud, so they dipped the spear in the ocean and stirred. They pulled out the spear, and the brine that dripped off it formed the island of Onogoro, to which they descended. Izanagi and Izanami decided to make their home there, and built a palace called the Eight-Measure Palace. In the very center of the palace stood a pillar, called the Heavenly August Pillar. Established in their new home, Izanami and Izanagi decided it was time to start a family. They circled the Heavenly August Pillar. Izanagi turning to the left, while Izanami moved to the right, so they met each other coming around. In spontaneous delight, Izanami exclaimed, "What a fine young man!" "What a fine young woman," said Izanagi in response. And I thought I had some bad pickup lines. Anyway, Izanagi then complained that Izanami should have left it to him to take the initiative. As time passed, Izanami gave birth to a son, Iruko, but the child was without limbs and boneless, a leech child. The baby was placed on a boat and abandoned to float away to his fate. Izanagi and Izanami returned to heaven to ask the elder gods where they had gone wrong. The gods confirmed Izanagi's suspicion that Izanami had done wrong in greeting her husband first. It was unnatural for the female partner to take the initiative, and this was why their offspring had been mishapen. With this in mind, the couple returned to their palace to try again. This time, when they circled the pillar, Izanagi greeted his wife first. Soon after, Izanami gave birth to the islands of Awaji, Shikoku, Oki, Kyushu, Iki, Tsushima, and Sado. Last of all, she delivered the largest island, Honshu. The couple gave the land they had brought into being the name of Oya Shimakumi, meaning the land of the 8 great islands. Following this, Izanami brought forth the smaller outlying islands. Sorry, Hokkaido, you're not here. Then they gave birth to a variety of deities to inhabit those islands, including the sea deity, the deities of the rivers, winds, trees, and mountains. Last, Izanami gave birth to the fire deity, Kagutsuchi. Unfortunately, she was burned to death, despite her husband's attempts to save her. Izanagi grieved over Izanami, and in anger after burying Izanami, he used his sword to, he beheaded his son, the deity of fire, whose birth has killed Izanami. From the blood in the sword came 3 deities of rocks, 2 deities of fire, and 1 of water, and so were spread in nature all the elements that are needed to make the legendary Japanese sword. Izanagi still missed Izanami, so he went to the underworld in search for her. For now, let's just say that didn't go so well. Izanagi returned to his home and bathed, to purify himself after his terrible experience. As he bathed, new deities arose from him. 3 of these were Amaterasu, Tsukuyomi, and Susanoo. Amaterasu was a girl with radiant brightness and beauty. Because of this, she was placed as the goddess of the sun, while Tsukuyomi became the god of the moon. He and his sister Amaterasu were husband and wife, but they argued after Tsukuyomi killed the goddess of food, splitting so day and night. Susanoo was an angry and rebel god, so he was banned from heaven and was placed on earth as the god of storms and the sea. Amaterasu sent one of her grandsons, Ninigi, to earth to plant her ice here. Descending from a floating bridge of heaven to the mountaintops, he built his palace. Eventually, he met a beautiful young goddess, Princess Brilliant Blossoms, and asked her to marry him. She asked for her father's judgment, and her father gave him both Princess Brilliant Blossoms and her older sister, Princess Long as the Rocks, but Ninigi refused the older sister. When her father heard this, he explained that he had offered Princess Long as the Rocks because her children would have lived eternally. Instead, the children of Princess Brilliant Blossom would be short-lived. Princess Brilliant Blossoms was soon with child, so soon that Ninigi could hardly believe that she bore his children. To prove herself, she shut herself in a doorless hut and set fire to it, knowing that only Ninigi's children could survive the flames. Amidst the flames, she gave birth to 3 deities, Oderi, Osuseri, and Hori. Hori's descendants were the imperial family of Japan. I think I'll end it at that for today, but I would like to mention that these myths are taken from the Kojiki, and they are still part of the Shinto religion even today in Japan, so they may or may not be considered mythology. But anyway, bye.